So today's topic is metabolic adaptation. What is it? What does it mean for your training? Metabolic adaptation is um, it's an effect which may or may not be real, um, relating to metabolism and how your body loses and gains weight. Um, Essentially, a lot of people have probably heard this already. They hear that, like, oh, if you eat too few calories, your body goes into sort of a starvation mode where it tries to save whatever way you can. So it sort of cuts down on your metabolism, your base metabolism, in order to, prevent you from further losing weight. Now, obviously that's pretty devastating if it's real, because your metabolism is actually where the vast majority of your calories being burned per day are coming from. Oftentimes, exercise contributes only a small fraction of it, and the main reason that we exercise is often to rehabilitate our metabolism, to raise our metabolism by raising the amount of lean tissue that we've got relative to our body mass, which makes it easier for us to have a higher metabolism and lose weight. So yeah, if that's a real thing, then that's pretty devastating, right? But we really can't be sure whether or not it exists. The thing is that we understand that weight loss is not a straight line. If you were to put someone on a very steady diet and they were to stick to it very faithfully, their weight would not come off, in a nice descending line. There would be, ups and downs and, chunky bits and weird things here and there. And that's because that can be because of a lot of things. Metabolic adaptation is one of those proposed theories to explain that. But another big one is like water retention. When you lose weight, sometimes your body will retain a lot of water, and then later when you lose that water weight, the weight loss actualizes itself in a certain way. So you've lost fat, you've lost tissue, but your body sort of maintains an extra amount of water, and as a result, it seems like you haven't lost weight when you really have. And then when that water weight later disappears, you go right back to realizing that you've lost weight. Now, Layne Norton is a great proponent of the theory, and it's important to understand that Layne Norton works primarily with bodybuilders, and he makes a lot of his statements about the idea of the theory from his experience with female figure competitors who are in a state in which they have been doing a lot of cardio, in which they're getting very few carbs in, and which they still can't seem to lose any weight. And this is one of the most contentious topics in the fitness community, because a lot of people believe on both sides, will fall on one side or the other, and will be very passionate about this. Again, it could be water weight, it could be actual metabolic adaptation. We really don't have the scientific evidence behind it yet. But what we do know is that weight loss is not uniform, and that there is something that can get in the way. What that something is, we can't exactly be sure. It could be metabolic adaptation, it could not be. So obviously, if you're trying to lose weight, the question is, are you suffering from metabolic adaptation? And the answer is probably not. As I was saying, Layne is a big proponent of it, but he is drawing his experiences primarily with a very specific segment of the population, and chances are you don't really fall into that. If you're trying to lose weight and you're not just unable to lose weight, despite being at a bigger size, it's probably it probably has to do with calories, or adherence to your exercise program, or your sleep, or all kinds of other factors. If you are an already lean person, who's struggling to lose like that extra few percent body fat because they're already down at a very low level, and you're doing a ton of exercise and you're eating very little, yes, that could be the thing. But that's a very small portion of the population. That's a very small portion of would-be bodybuilders and figure competitors. So, unless you are one of those people, and you know exactly 100%, what your diet looks like and what your training looks like, and all that, I would not jump to that conclusion. I would not say that you should think that you are suffering from metabolic adaptation. Now, what does that mean? Obviously, I'm not trying to tell you to demonize water either. Diuretics and stuff like that could be dangerous, and actually counterintuitive. They can do more damage than they do help, and they don't really help very much. So essentially, I guess the main thing that you should draw away from this is not to get frustrated when your weight loss is chunky, for lack of a better word, because again, it's not uniform. There are these gaps in the scale or in the graph. There is this data that is a little weird to us that we don't really understand yet. We don't really have the science behind it. So it's best not to jump to conclusions, but really the only way to deal with it is to make sure that your diet is under control, make sure your exercise is under control, make sure you're doing everything right. And sooner or later, if you stick with it, and again, if everything is as under control as you think it is, then yes, you will lose weight. That's really my take on the subject, and I'm trying to be kind of an apologist for both sides. I'm not really trying to take one side or the other because I really don't think that there is really a lot of evidence, supporting one side or the other. So let me know what you think. Like the video, rate the video, comment on the video. Have a good one. See you later.